Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us for today's live stream. As you can see, we have again fresh faces. As you can see right here, I have somebody very famous in our community. I am going to introduce this personality just in a minute. I'm just checking if my Instagram live is done so that few people are also waiting there. Is that live? Okay, so we are live on Instagram, we are live right here on YouTube, and I would just quickly check your comments here. So let me just begin here as well, and then we will start the show. Okay, wonderful. So I am all set. And like again, I said, thank you so much for joining us. Now I will quickly introduce you guys. The topic you already know, that is the reason you're here. The topic is digital intelligence. Ask me anything. Meaning, what we did recently is we collected some questions online uh, from social media channels. You must have seen our Instagram story, our post already, and thank you so much for putting your questions over there because we have three experts sitting along with me. They would be answering your questions. So, quickly going to, I said, somebody very famous within the communities here. So, we have Ashok Siladurai. He is our master coach of AEP program. That's not it. He is also a digital expert. So, hi, Ashok. How are you feeling today?
Hello, Gunjan. Thank you very much for having me here. I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
Feeling
much.
great. Hello, everyone.
So, are you ready for all the questions coming up to you?
I guess so. Let's see how it goes.
Wonderful.
As far as I can answer.
Wonderful. So here we have Ashok. Please put your questions, whatever questions you have around digital intelligence topic, because we have here Ashok. And now I am turning around because if you can see here two beautiful faces. Anastassiya Larina, she is from our employability team, IT team, and she's a design thinker. And she's also helping Ashok today for answering few questions. And here, if you could see, Digvijay Singh, he is GTI champion. Already, you guys know him very well. He is a GTI champion, like I said, of digital intelligence, and he recently has joined our team as well as a software testing intern. So, Digvijay, Anna, how are you feeling today?
I'm good.
Feeling good, Anna?
Thank you for asking. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm glad to be here with you today.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So, this was the introduction. Now, I would just quickly go to Ashok again and set the scene of today's live stream. What is the expectation? So, expectation is we have so many questions came from you guys. They will be answering it. But before that, I know a lot of people must not know what is digital intelligence is, and setting the scene for this topic is very important. So now I would go to Ashok, please tell us what is digital intelligence according to you, and why do you think it is important to learn these days?
Brilliant. So digital intelligence is another form of intelligence, just like everyone else have intelligence in themselves. So digital is part of, like, because we live in a digital world and we interact with a load of digital technologies as well as tools, and all kind of activities that we do today are digital based. So I would call it digital jungle that we live in right now. So which means you need to have some sort of intelligence to live in it. So that's, for me, that's what I call as digital intelligence.
Okay, you said digital jungle. That is interesting. I'll quickly go around and see what Anna and Digvijay they think of this question. So, Anna, coming to you, what do you think digital intelligence is according to you, and why do you think it is important this day?
Thanks for asking. I agree with Ashok about digital intelligence. Also, for me, this is something like what we're interacting every day because we have our smartphones, computers, everything, and it's really good to know how to use it and how to use it in your purpose. So yeah, it's very important to have efficient life using digital things.
Very simple and very practical. And let me tell you, before I go to Digvijay, Anna is from Prague. So she's joining us from Prague. I and Ashok are sitting here in London, whereas if we have Digvijay, Digvijay is sitting in India. So we are like, joining today for this live stream around the globe. We have different sort of expression to say. We have different languages, so that is what I just want to mention. And the motto, like the equal motto, like the common motto that we have is, you guys can learn something out of it. So that is the reason we are doing this live stream. I will quickly go back to Digvijay. Digvijay, what is your take on this question?
Yeah, I guess Ashok and Anastasia described it very well. And for me, digital intelligence is something, as we all know, that technology is rapidly evolving every day. And because of that, we need to learn everything, and we need to have information of technology to keep ourselves up to date of all the things, and make ourselves updated, and also make use of all of that information.
Okay, so yes, simple, practical. Why do we want digital? Today we are connected via digital systems. We are online, and that is one of the reason we need like digital intelligence. I will just quickly check. We have 6 people joined us on live stream so far. We have one somebody called Let You Flow, and he's saying hello all. So hello to everybody. And now I will go on the questions, the main set of questions that we received from social media platforms. And the first question is that is coming to you, Ashok. How can individual enhance their digital intelligence skills?
You want one word answer? Oh, I'll elaborate it.
Yeah, please.
One word answer: learning, of course. Of course, everybody needs to start learning of that, because it's not something innate, right? I mean, some people process that, but still, for me, it's about like reading, attending, sort of like seminars, workshops, and also work. I mean, if you're part of a workplace, of course, you day in day out that you work on that, right? Like, so you learn new things. And if you want to go a little bit detail on that, I encourage my team members to attend seminars and some sort of like webinars and learning from, especially from LinkedIn learning sessions as well. And of course, YouTube, where we are on YouTube right now. Most of the time I learn a lot of things through YouTube as well. So there you go. I mean, just to answer like how you could learn, it's that through those means.
Okay, so like Ashok mentioned, one word, learning. You have to learn this. And to elaborate it, there are so many channels, like you mentioned, LinkedIn Learning is one of them. YouTube, he said, and there are a lot of platforms, even Coursera. Coursera is one of the,
that is Quora is good, and I think there are plenty out there. And the other thing I would advise is like put that in practice as well, because keep repeating. For example, like I mean, if you think that you want to achieve something in terms of that, you try to put that in practice in your day-to-day activity as well, and see how you performed against that. For example, like if you don't want to be using your phone too much, try to get rid of the phone for a while and see. So that's being practical and putting that in practice.
Practicing that bit.
Yeah.
So practice is the key. Now I am just changing a bit to this question, as we have three. I would say three generation, but three sort of experience sitting right here from the digital side. Ashok, he has 25 years plus experience.
Just a little bit more aspect, I would say.
Okay, so more than 25 years. Then we have here Anastassiya. Anastassiya is senior to Digvijay, and Digvijay just started with us. So we have like three, like I said, three sort of milestone from the digital side. So now I'm going to Anna. Anna, according to you, what is your take, and then what do you say that we should enhance our digital intelligence skills like?
Well, it's a really good question, and I think with this, because we are so immersed with different tools, with different applications, and like YouTube videos, Coursera, and everything. So I think it's really important, first of all, to understand what problem are you trying to solve. For example, if you know you need to improve your time management, then you can try to look like what tools you have that can help you. Some of them can be for free, some of them will cost something, but anyway, I think the best way is like to know what do you want to improve in your life, and what problem you're trying to solve. And then, yes, you just need to try to find it. What tool will be the best for you? What can help you the best? For example, for education, you can use Coursera, where some universities can teach you really important things. You can use Udemy, where people will share their like, personal experience at work. And yeah, it's just so many things around that can give you like different perspectives. So yeah, those would be like my main advice in the enhancing.
Thank you. So Anna said very true. It's just not about how to enhance digital intelligence, but also to understand what sort of problem you are into and how do you want to solve it. So that is, thank you so much, Anna. Going quickly to Digvijay. Digvijay, you are a very new IT person, and like you just joined us. This is your first experience. So I wanted to know your answer for this question from that fresher's perspective.
Yeah, I would start by saying that Anna introduced me to one of the tools, Clockify, and which helped me to maintain my hour time. And this is just this is only digital intelligence, right? Using things and tools to ease your life, ease your everyday life. And also, I follow this theory. This is the T theory that I don't know if you guys have heard or not. To have the information of every field, but to have a mastery in one field.
Okay, that's deep. Yeah, do you want to add something to it?
Yeah, I mean, if you are going into the tech industry, so you need to have digital intelligence. You need to know what tool to use, and what whom to go to when you are in a problem situation. So critical thinking also comes into play in this.
Okay, wonderful, Digvijay. You mentioned critical thinking, and my second question is coming on that. But before that, you also mentioned that if you want to go in tech, then only you need digital intelligence. But I would say no, it is not like that. Wherever, like even if you're in this in the school, like 10th or 11th, or even I would say like fifth class student, he or she also need internet these days. He or she also need an access to mobile, to laptop, to tablet, because now schools are also doing this online course, online teaching, not course, online teaching. They have this virtual sessions with their teachers. So I think digital intelligence is now that vital that you are going in school and you need to know all digital side of
Yeah.
it. What is your
I
take
think
on that?
you're right, because for me, it's digital intelligence is not about trying to use the tool. There are various technologies and tools. It's not about accessing how to access it. It's more than that. It's about how do you be being mindful and be attentive to, and how do you use those tools. And for example, like you just said, like where the I mean, looking back, I mean, you're talking about India or Bangladesh or even Sri Lanka for that matter. If you talk about the countries there, even farmers start using those
Right.
technologies right now. Sorry, so of course they need to understand like how it can help them, and so it's again, as I've said, like it's not about access the tools or how to use the tool. It's beyond that.
Yeah. Yeah, I am agree to it. And then going on the critical thinking part, my question is on that. So that question is, what role does critical thinking play in digital intelligence? Can you please provide any personal experience that you went to a situation where critical thinking skills are crucial in digital space? So Ashok, coming to you.
Yeah. So if I get that question right, what you're asking is what role the critical thinking plays
Play in digital
in
space, yeah.
digital intelligence. Yeah, so I think it plays a crucial role anyway, because one thing is to have, again, you're talking about data and analyzing and all this. So part of being able to analyze, evaluate, and make decisions. Those are the kind of areas that I'll be looking at in terms of that kind of role that you want to play as critical thinking.
Yeah.
So that's one area I would say. I'm trying to think a little bit more on that. Of course, we'll hear from them and come back as well.
Yeah, thank you. Of course. So, Anna, coming to you, what do you think critical thinking play as a role in digital intelligence? Do you have any personal experience to share about it that you have done some critical thinking while doing something in digital space?
Well, about the personal experience, maybe I will start from this because all of us are using, for example, all of us reading news on mobile phone, on the applications, read some social feeds and everything. And I think really important, especially COVID showed us this, that we always should fact check everything that we read, especially if this information is quite important and plays some role in our life. And yes, and the second part is always check your source.
Yeah.
Some of you are studying right now, so you probably prepare some articles or maybe making research. And because we have a lot of information on the internet, we should always check the source. So this is like something practical that might be useful at school.
I think it's a good one, to be honest. In my the videos that I've done in the past, I've mentioned about how important that even at a personal level, when you receive forwarded messages on WhatsApp, how important that you shouldn't be just forwarding it to everybody.
Yeah.
It's something that there are various tools out there in the internet space where you could just fact check, as Anna said. So, and the other thing is also I'm thinking about being how sensitive those data
Yeah.
news are going to be, especially when the wars going around now. I mean, you got to be very careful, what you send out, being not biased, being ethically thinking, whether this is the right thing to do. And these are things that, I believe right now as students, we should be thinking about right now. For me, the best place to start for you guys is what you get on your mobile phone today. If you start there, when you start working in an office environment, you will definitely get molded to that. You by default, you will be going there with that
Yeah,
mindset.
checking the fact sheets.
Correct.
Okay. Yes, and I think I've made a very best choice having Anna, Ashok, and Digvijay as a combination because it's just been 10 minutes and I'm already learning. Like Anna said, that you should be checking every information coming to you if it is right and wrong, and then take your decision. And also, when Digvijay was mentioning about digital intelligence, and then he mentioned that he got to know Clockify as a tool that he's using for time management. So that is one of the thing I learned as well. And yes, Digvijay, do you have anything to add? Of course, from the freshers perspective, any personal experience that you want to share that you have used your critical thinking for the digital space.
No, I think Ashok and Anna already explained it very well. And I guess as I'm new to this field, I need to have critical thinking to be attentive all of the times. And yes, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Digvijay. Now, coming on the third question that we have received on Instagram from somebody, and that question is: how does digital intelligence relate to the concept of the Internet of Things? So, Ashok, I think you have more expertise on that, and I would like to hear from you.
Yeah, so two parts to that, right? Of course, IoTs are what we talk about, those devices or wearables, where it's get interconnected to other devices.
Can I please interrupt you? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt you, but then this is something very important. A lot of people don't know what is Internet of Things.
Yeah,
so what is that?
Yeah, so in a nutshell, if I were to put it in a layman term, Internet of Things are anything connected to the internet. Probably nowadays, we have in our household environment, we have smart TVs. Of course, it has been there for a while. And have you heard about smart washing machines, smart kettles? And these are things that, we are talking about IoTs, which are connected to the internet. So going back to again IoTs, how do you get that question again for me,
Yeah,
please?
so the question is, how does digital intelligence is related to the concept
Right.
of IoT?
Correct. So we have the IoTs on our side, and then we are talking about digital intelligence, right? So all these IoT devices or wearables, you can talk about wearables, you can talk about
Watches or
anything, right?
anything.
It generates a load of data. So how do you utilize that data? That's where the digital intelligence comes in place. Like, I mean, again, going back to what we just discussed, like earlier, there's plenty of data coming in from that. But in a research environment, how do we really use those data? I mean, what data is, whether they are they qualitative data, like whether useful data. So we need to think about all those things. That's where the digital intelligence marries together with the IoT sort of things. If that answers the question.
Yes, and in fact, this is new for me as well. I am not from IT thing, and IoT, like you just started saying that anything which is connected to the
Yeah.
internet is Internet of Things. So I knew that, but then when you interconnected digital intelligence and IoT is something I learned today.
Yeah, and just to add to that as well, like I'm personally I'm not in a favor of IoTs, because there is I shouldn't be using. Good example is the Alexa, which is inside in our place. I switch it off. I don't keep it on because I always feel that somebody's listening to me.
Yeah.
So these are the data, like, we don't know, I mean, what's going on. But that's one. Again, we're talking about kettles or electric bulbs, or all these connected with
Smart
smart
lights or
lights and
something, yeah.
all these things, right? So what it does is it just gives a somebody collecting that data. When I say somebody, the data is out there. It could even create a pattern of my lifestyle and say, like, Ashok has been waking up at this time, his coffee time is this, his tea, all these things there. So digital intelligence comes into that side of things. Once you get it, what do we do?
Okay, very deep. I have so many questions, but then this is not my thing. I should go to our people. Now I would go to maybe Digvijay. Digvijay, yes. So I know you have a bit of interest into this topic called Internet of Things. So what is your take on that? How does digital intelligence relate to the concept of IoTs?
Okay, so I'll continue what Ashok said, and yeah, Internet of Things are things connected to internet, and one of the best examples would be smartwatches.
Yeah.
And yeah, uh, smartwatches generate a lot of data, and to calculate these data into valuable information is digital intelligence. And also, you might never know what data is being used by the watches because it always have access to anything. It has access to your heartbeat information, it has access to your location information. So it is also really scary when it comes to play, and can also be very helpful to you. So this is where critical thinking also comes into play. So you need to know what data is useful to you and what is not.
Wonderful. So now going to Ashok. Ashok, Laura is there as an audience joining us on YouTube, and she said, "Hi, Ashok," and
Hello,
she
Laura.
also have one more question for you. That is, what emerging technologies do you believe will most significantly impact the future of education?
I mean, I haven't personally read anything lately, but going back to what I've been reading is, of course, like, the things like 3D printing, blockchain.
Yeah.
I mean, these are already there, but when I say emerging, it's evolving. So those are the kind of technologies that I'll be talking about, if at all, how it's going to be disrupted in the future. So again, like, blockchain and 3D printing side of things, and AI, of course, like, when we're talking about that, I didn't want to use AI because it's a lot of
It's a big
buzz there.
topic,
It's everybody speaks about it. So yeah, AI keeps improving, and that's going to be disruptive for sure. I mean, again, before me, even back in the days, like, 5 years back or 10 years back, we have been speaking about AI. So still, we are there evolving, and we are going there.
Okay, so Laura, hope you got your answer. And we just spoke about blockchain. I have a question related to that, came from somebody, and the question is, but before going to that question, I have a simple question. What is blockchain to the people who don't know what is it, and what are the key advantage of implementing blockchain technologies in various industry per se in education industry?
What are the key challenges?
To implement a blockchain.
Right. So blockchain itself is, like, it's on its own. It's its own technology. Like, I mean, that we have heard about bitcoins and all those things, right? It works under the that platform. So the kind of challenges, like in the industry, we already know that finance industry is using, which is bitcoin and all those cryptocurrencies we are talking about. I mean, ideally, I would say, like for health sector, it'll be perfect. And because I feel that so much of data there, it could be more secured, and it also could be kind of scalable as well, because security and information security is very important when it comes to health sector, right? So I think putting blockchain technology there, it really will help. Again, is it something people are using right now? No, because of course sensitive data that we're talking about, especially in health sector. What I would think is, like other than technology, there are all the other industries can use, like for example, whether it's a retail or whether it is say broadcast and digital media kind of things, travel and tourism, they all can use that. But that comes with challenges for sure, because it's still evolving, and you still need to, there are issues like interoperabilities, and there are issues scalability as well. So it's not there yet, but yes, definitely we can use it. But immediately I would be thinking about health sector, which have immense amount of data, and which is much needed in terms of security and governance as well.
Okay, so Ashok, when I started this question, you said that you started with saying Bitcoin and fintech industry.
Mm.
But then, if in a layman language, what is blockchain? Like, if somebody wants to understand, they are student or maybe our parents. So, what is that for them?
See, I'm not an expert in blockchain. Like, of course, if you're listening to me, what I could tell you is, like, it is there's all technologies coming out, right? Like, in terms of the fundamental, the core technology. So you could even talk about, when I keep saying technology, it's not the right word to use, because all the time technology. So anything, so talk about building blocks of building something. So blockchain is done in such a way that, like, it's not available everywhere to be used just like that in our day-to-day life.
Okay.
But it's more like, it's more of a decentralized kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for, I don't want to go into technical too much, but it's more of like, the architecture of the applications will be done more decentralized, so the data is different in locations, just like how and it has more sort of, what is the word I'm looking for again, it has more security per se, I would say. So that's what I can tell you at the moment. But of course, like, there's plenty of
Answers are
videos
very built, yeah.
videos and tutorials outside. Like, as I said, I'm not an expert in blockchain, because one thing, I don't even use cryptocurrency, so I don't even activate that. So yeah, unless otherwise, like, my friends have here anything.
Anna, Digvijay, do you have anything to add on this topic? We're talking about blockchain and how it is implementing into the various industries. Anything to add on that?
No, as I don't have much knowledge about blockchain, and if I say something wrong, then it won't be right for the audience.
All right. Thank you so much, Digvijay. And I know Anna told me that she have no inputs to say on blockchain, so I'm not going there.
it
Ashok,
is
yeah.
it's a sort of specialist area, right? So of course, like, the people who work on that, they'll definitely know. But the kind of, like, workload I've been working, I mean, in the past, like, with health sector and digital media, we have never been using blockchain. But on the other hand, like, I know that, like, that can be used in various industries, as we spoke about earlier. So one of the key area would be, like, for me, looking at is health sector.
Okay.
Definitely, because I understand, like, how the data works in health sector. So that's a place that there'll be more advantage. Challenges, as I said, like, because it's evolving, uncertainty or unknown areas, I would call that. For that reason, still, we are not there.
Okay, so on that, I just learned one thing. If you are preparing for health sectors, this is something that you can say in your interview. You can actually recommend, it's okay if you don't know much about it, but then we just got a tip from Ashok. And I am not expanding this topic anymore because we are not the expert. Going on the next question quickly, the question is, what are the challenges in implementing machine learning models in real world application? But before that, I would come on the question, what is machine learning?
So machine learning models are, to be honest, it's a set of programs, let's say,
Okay.
where it will dive into large set of data, and then you will understand the patterns and the trends of that data. So example would be like, for example, we'll talk about a health sector again. So we have so much of data coming in, right? X-rays
Yeah.
that we take, so lung x-rays that we take daily basis in a hospital. So if we put some sort of a program, machine learning program, on that particular data, millions of records of data, we could program it in such a way, supervised level or unsupervised level. We could be able to program it to understand, the patterns emerging, and that could easily help saving, I don't know whether it's people with cancer or whether it's lung infections, all these things. That's the kind of understanding that I have about machine learning. It's all about data.
It's all about data.
Big data.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I think you have another attached to that is another question.
Yeah, the question is, what are the challenges in implementing machine learning
Yeah.
in real life application? But I think you covered in a way when you said an example about health sector and how we do this scanning and sort of reports, and that data gets covered, and that is how we are using machine learning.
And the biggest challenge would be accessing that data, because you need qualitative data, and when I say qualitative, it has to be, the data has to be informative, as which I said earlier, right? For that reason, we need proper data. In terms of putting some healthcare data, it's not easy because there's so much of governance, so much of security concerns, and also if you have that, can it be used is a question.
Yeah.
So to mitigate that, what in the past what we have done is we have been creating synthetic data. So
Synthetic data.
yeah,
Okay.
but on the other hand, how will that work with x-rays that we take, because we can't be creating synthetic data of x-rays, right? It has to be clear.
And
But
that's sensitive
exactly.
as well.
But if it is personal health records, you could just say that, or you can delete me from as a person, but what the, or say, illnesses and diseases I have, that can be created as a synthetic data. So yes, we can still mitigate, but the biggest challenge will be for someone to get that big amount of data, qualitative data, to perform machine learning.
Okay, wonderful. I'll just quickly turn around and see. And now, Digvijay, do you have anything to add on this point? We are talking about machine learning and implementation of it in real world application.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
maybe maybe one point to add to this, because I should cover a lot of things there. For example, if you're a big enterprise, of course, you have there a lot of data to process. So you have this reliability of data and big amount of data. One of the limitations when you're a small company, you might not have that much data from your users. So you probably will need to buy it. So there are some higher expensive, more expensive things for the smaller companies. Also, one of the points is the legacy limitations, because there are some regulations regarding using the data.
Yeah.
Some of them can be sensitive, so this is also important to pay attention to it when you use the data of your users.
Okay, yeah. Ashok is saying yes, yes. I mean,
I think
he's
it's exactly what Anna said. It's about you can't just buy data. As those days, I'm pretty sure we were able to do that. But now there's so much of governance, regulations in place, GDPR acts there, so you can't usually do that. So small companies will suffer, and they'll never be able to do that. And big organizations, again, they are under those restrictions as well.
Yes, you're right. And on that note, Digvijay, do you have anything to add on this topic? We're talking about machine learning, just so you know, and implementation of this tool in real world application.
Yeah, I have an example which would, I guess, would be a good example for this. I was reading somewhere that a machine learning model was operating on a patient where the doctor was performing using that machine, but he was in a separate location. So I guess this is one of the major challenges, because it needs to have a proper precision, because if anything goes wrong, then it could result in a very bad way.
Yeah.
And your example just say everything about digital intelligence. It's like he's a doctor, he's using that particular machine from some different location and he's doing something, and you just talked about precision. So thank you so much for getting that example right here and seeing that we are already 5 minutes ahead of what we had. So now I would like to wrap it up, but wrapping it up, I just got one question in the chat, and that is the question I would like to ask all three of you as a closing statement. So, quickly, what advice would you give to someone looking to start a career in digital industry? Ashok, we will start from you.
I think I probably I said that earlier as well. Like, I mean, this is the right time to get yourself molded into this. Like, I mean, how you would be working in the future. So it's about like, starting from where you are today at your personal level, understanding about those data, what you get, critically thinking how to make decisions using that data, just not just rashly coming out of a decision or making decisions. That's where you should be starting. And then of course, like, eventually you will be molded into that. When you start working, you are going with your set
Whatever you're
mind.
doing, yeah, and you're also learning, you're getting a lot of experience, and that way you just go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if you don't mind me quickly find to add that as well, like, because when you start working in an office environment, you see day in data. I mean, like, you guys see that, right? Like,
Yeah.
emails coming out
Yeah.
and so many things. So you have to be able to critically analyze and evaluate what you get, and then you work on that, make decisions or act on it. That's how you should be doing.
Okay, thank you, Ashok. We'll go to Anna. Anna, any advice that you want to give to the people who wants to start in digital industry?
I think the biggest advantage in digital industry that there are so many different fields you can apply your skills, your soft skills, your hard skills. So maybe a
Mm.
good first step would be to find out what are your strengths, and based on those strengths, to see in which field, in which profession you can implement them, and which of the profession gives more sense to you as a person, which will give you will give you more fulfillment out of it.
All right, thank you. And now I'm gonna just change a bit to this question for Digvijay, because Digvijay, you recently has given your interview for this position for software testing intern, and you just started coming into digital industry, like started with it. So, how did you prepare? What is that one advice that you want to give to other students who are preparing for their interviews too?
Yeah, as someone, I'm just starting my way in the career. And what I would say is to learn as much as possible, and not just theory, but try to practice a lot, because by practicing, you are developing your experience, and experience is all that matters in the tech industry.
Thank you so much, Digvijay. That's how actually we started the conversation. Ashok said practice is the key, and then we are ending it up again with practice. So, just to wrap what we learned today, so we talked about machine learning, blockchain, a bit of cybersecurity, critical thinking. Digvijay said that he used Clockify tool for time management, and then Ashok gave very practical examples around health industry, how we should be using blockchain that you can use for your interview in case you want to know. And then also Anna said that you should be knowing what problem you're going through, and then you should be start analyzing and then work on it. Practice is the key, is something that we just said a lot of time. And on that note, I would just quickly see what chats we are getting. So we have Disha with us, Disha Sharma. She said, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Disha. Thank you so much for joining us." And now, 10 minutes ahead. Ashok, do you want to add anything?
I mean, again, yeah. So I just reiterating, like, I mean, just for you guys, digital intelligence is not about, using technology tools and, technology out there. Uh, Everybody can start using it. It's
Yeah.
about, like, beyond that, in your day-to-day life, that you need to start building it. I keep saying the same thing again, but that's very, very important. And
Yeah.
I at my age now, I'm still struggling to get there, because that's why I encourage the youngsters to start from day one, because that will pave the way, and that will go a long way if that's the case, like if you start doing it right now.
No, you are very true. And in fact, that is something we are doing intentionally or
Yeah,
unintentionally. It's like we just get up, we see our phone. That is something we are
yeah,
using our digital
yeah.
intelligence. So, yes, you are very true. On spot, going on Digvijay, Anna, do you want to give any closing statement quickly?
I know, I guess
But
I'm all good. It was a wonderful experience here.
Thank you so much, Digvijay. Anna, do you want to add anything?
yeah, sure. There were like like really interesting questions today, and I think each of us had different perspectives
Yeah.
on it, and I hope it will help you on your path to enhancing your digital intelligence and your digital skills.
Thank you so much. And yes, that is very true what you said about having different perspective, and that is the reason we had this three different people right here. And now I'm not gonna take much of your time because it was 30-minute session. I'm so sorry to our Instagram people. I couldn't come there and see what sort of chats we are getting. But hi to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. You must know Ashok. You have done digital intelligence program already from him, and today he's here. I am sure you have got a lot of learnings today. Coming on the next week we are going to come with again another exciting topic. What is that going to be? You will get to know from social media platforms because there where we are going to promote it. Same timing, meaning 2 o'clock London timing, UK timing, GMT, and then 7:30 in India. So yes, be ready for that. I am also looking for more learners to be here on the panel and of course here. So please, if you would like to speak in front of people, if you have something that you want to share your personal experiences on personal growth commitment topic, please do come to me via LinkedIn, Instagram, or whatever, and then we can just set it up. For now, I am signing off. We are going to meet again next Friday. Thank you so much.
Thank you.